Good morning, everybody. Nathan Ricks here. Happy Friday morning. It's the 28th of December. I hope you all had a wonderful Christmas holiday with your loved ones and family and friends from wherever you might be dialing in from or listening from. Uh, Grateful to have a few moments this morning to cover the prospects of goal setting and what it means to set goals, give you some examples from my own personal life, and also to let you know that this is the last Facebook Live broadcast that I'll be doing. As you guys are well aware, I'm in the process of winding down my career at Nu Skin and retiring here in the next couple of months. Got a few more meetings to do and success summits on the road. Australia, New Zealand, and Indonesia coming up in February. And this has been an amazing 30-year career for me. Phenomenal. Can't even describe the impact it's had on our family, on me personally, and the opportunity to meet literally hundreds of thousands, probably millions of people around the world the last 30 years engaged in this career. So it's been a phenomenal thing. A lot of people ask, well, what does it mean that you're going to retire? What it means is that in this business, you build a team, you build a downline, you build a distribution channel, if you will, and that channel consumes product on a daily basis and sells product on a daily basis. So what it means personally, as far as income is concerned, is it doesn't really change our income. Our bonus check will continue to come in. We build a substantial, sustainable business all over the world. We've got thousands of trained leaders that are building great businesses themselves that'll continue to grow and move forward. And that's the promise. That's the beauty of a business like this, is that you work hard that one time and you create a phenomenal base that generates volume. It generates a commission check on a monthly basis that can sustain you for the rest of your life. And that's the situation that my wife and I find ourselves in now. And so it'll simply be me retracting, I guess you will, my full-time effort, my full-time activity, traveling the world, doing lots of meetings and presentations and webinars and three-way calls, which I've done consistently now over the last nearly 30 years. And there's a time and a season for everything in life, and the time and the season has come for us to move on to other things in our lives, which we hope to do, providing humanitarian and church service with our church here the next number of years going forward. So that's our plan. It's been phenomenal. And so with this parting broadcast, I want to cover something that has really been one of the big game changers in my life, and that is discovering the ability to set goals, running across a little teeny audio tape by Paul J. Myers from the Success Motivation Institute out of Waco, Texas. And I got my hands on this. How I don't know how I came in possession of this audio tape, but I did. And when I was 14 years of age, I plugged it into an audio player and listened to it for the first time. And it didn't even seem real to me. It seemed too good to be true. It seemed like magic. It seemed like, what do you mean? You just need to, visualize and think about what you want, write it down, read it every day, and it'll happen. How does that work? And I did it. I actually wrote down a whole bunch of goals in a little booklet, a little bound booklet that I had. And I wrote down these goals, and I look back on them about 25 years later when I was moving from one home to another. You know how that is when you're packing and unpacking. And I found this little book that I'd written all these goals in, and when I was 14 years of age. And Paul J. Myers said, don't let anything stop you. Don't say I don't have enough money, enough time, enough contacts, enough resources, enough smarts. He said, none of those things matter. Just write it down and be specific and write it down and read it every day. And ultimately that's going to happen. And those things have happened. Virtually every single thing I wrote down on that list when I was 14, just going crazy, just dreaming of anything you want to be, have, do, places you want to see, things you want to become, all those things. And virtually all of those things have happened in our lives and in my life. And I know that it's started by planting those seeds of thought in my brain when I was 14 years of age by saying, these are the things I want to be, do, have, experience, places I want to see, all these kinds of things. And I encourage you to do that today. Today's the 28th of December. We're a couple of days from the end of the year. This is the time of year people stop and reflect on the previous year, that's just passed. What happened? Did we accomplish what we had hoped to? And now we look forward to 2019, and this should be a process that you do every year. We're headed to our ranch house today up in the mountains, and this is a place where you completely unplug and you think and you contemplate and you ponder these things. And you make these decisions that launch you on these different trajectories, these different courses throughout your life. And so anyway, I want to just kind of walk you through that process, some of the things that I've learned over the last 30 plus years, 40 years of goal setting. And I hope they'll be helpful to you. And hopefully they'll cause you to be motivated to write down your goals for 2019, be specific about them, and put them on your screensaver of your phone where you see them every day and you read them and make it happen. And I want to also mention that one thing that you can utilize that's really, really critical as you build your business this year is to get a 90-day success journal. And you can get that at otg.global and by going to the store and getting the tools there that you need. This is one of those tools that you should use 4 of these during 2019, and you ought to keep a string of them on your bookshelf. I've got several dozen of these binders of journals that record my daily activities, the people I'm contacting, the 3-way calls, how many people I'm sponsoring, and that journal will keep you on track for success in your Nu Skin business, okay? What I'm going to talk about today is perhaps a larger picture that talks about the big goals of your life. And these goals need to be big so that they motivate you, so that they're powerful. So I'm going to share my screen with you really quick here. I believe I'm going to share my screen with you. Let me just maybe go here and find it. Hang on one second here. Let's see. Which one is this? Well, okay, hang on a second here. We're just going to do this again. Make sure that we run this. Okay, here we go. And hopefully you'll see this. Let me just share that screen again. Okay, here we go. Okay, good. All right. So 700,000. Everyone has 700,000, and you say 700,000 of what? Well, if you live to an average life expectancy of an adult in the United States of America today, you'll have approximately 700,000 hours in your life. Hopefully, you'll spend about 233,000 of those hours sleeping. That would be 8 hours a day. Now, I'm a guy that stands repentant because I said for many years that sleep's a waste of time and you can sleep when you're dead. And the problem is I was wrong. And so I've changed my tune personally, and I'm changing it for you as well. And that is that everybody needs to really strive to get 7 to 8 hours a night of great sleep. And there's a lot to sleep, there's a lot to getting good sleep and setting up your room and your environment and winding down and all those things that I've done on previous broadcasts that are recorded, and you can get those on my YouTube channel. And I hope that you'll watch that about sleep so that you can learn some of the things I've learned about it, how important it is for rejuvenation of your body and healing and getting good restful sleep. You'll probably, if you're like a lot of people, you may spend 233,000 hours working, and you may be working for somebody else. And if you did that whole time, then that's a shame, because you simply traded your life away, you exchanged time for money, and you probably never really did what you could have done had you found a better vehicle like Nu Skin to allow you to leverage your time and to get multiples on those hours, not just trade them one for one in a linear fashion. Hopefully you don't spend 116,000 hours watching TV. The masses want to be entertained. The successful people want to be educated. So hopefully you'll spend those 116,000 hours educating yourself and doing some great things with that time. Everybody's got 700,000 hours. The question is, what will you do with your 700,000 hours? And you got to remember that time is your enemy, guys. It'll happen and it passes so fast. And so what you got to do is be cognizant and aware that you always need to be making the most of every minute of every day, that you're not wasting any time anywhere and anything that's not productive, that's not moving you towards your goals, that's not making you a better person, that's not helping you to be more grateful to the people around you. And speaking of gratitude, let's talk about the influence of friends. And this is something that I learned many years ago. This is one of the favorite, sayings of one of my good friends, Lon Wardrop, team elite major player in the business. You will become the average of your 5 closest friends. So be careful who you associate with on a daily basis. And you've got to teach this to your children, your nieces, your nephews, people, young people in your neighborhood or in your life. It is so critical, those formative years during the teenage years, who they associate with. You today, it's important who you associate with. Are you associating, are you hanging around, are you spending time with people that are, more successful, more focused, more targeted? They're more fit than you are. They understand science, they understand technology, understand marketing, psychology, they understand engineering and design, they understand, building, recruiting, sales, marketing. They understand all these things maybe better than you do, and they can lift you in your efforts to build a real business. Are they more moral than you are? Do they have a greater, true north compass than maybe you have in your life? Are they more spiritual than you are? Are they more emotionally balanced? Are they stronger mentally? All of these things. So these are things to consider as you say to yourself, are the people that I'm hanging around every day going someplace in their life? Are they striving to move forward and become more positive, more powerful, more friendly people that can help more people in their lives? Or are these people focused on themselves? They focused on them. Is it me all the time for those people? Are they selfish in that way? These are people you probably want to change out. You probably want to move more away from those people if they're not willing to change and come along with you, and find people you can associate with that are not abusive. They're not abusing substances, drugs, alcohol, people. They're moving forward. They have gratitude and they're positive in their life. They serve other people. They lift them and help them. These are the people you want to be around. Okay? Your potential. This is one of my favorite quotes in my life. The greatest loss in life is the difference between human potential versus actual performance. This is something probably, maybe it's obvious, maybe it's not obvious to you, that this is true. You have unlimited potential. You literally can accomplish anything you want to accomplish. And if you don't believe that, or no one's ever told you that, then remember that I just told you that right here. You're a child of God. God is all powerful. He's unlimited. And because you're his child, you have inherited that potential. And so you can do anything. You can accomplish anything. And just remember that there's a gap that occurs in this potential that is unlimited that you have versus what most people actually do. If you're wasting your life and you're wasting time, then you're living way below your potential. Your potential's up here. You don't want to be down here. You want to strive to push as much as you can all the time towards that potential, accomplishing more. And many times you'll get to a place where you think, I can't do any more. I'm overloaded. My plate's too full. And maybe that's the case. Maybe you need a little bit of a break. But what I have learned through my life is that your brain literally has almost unlimited capacity, and that you literally can take on more than you think, and you can accomplish way more than you think you can accomplish. And so what you got to do is you got to say, life's short, life will pass quickly, so you got to give really serious consideration to what you want to accomplish in your life. Because whatever you focus on, you're probably going to get it. And you got to make sure you're focusing on the right things in your life. Get that clear vision, write it down. As we've heard many times, a goal not written is only a wish. I've learned over my career that human beings are great at forgetting. We forget the people who've helped us through our lives. We forget the people that have made a big contribution in our lives. And we forget to be grateful to other people. And we forget what our objective is. We forget our goals many times. And so write them down, guys. Make sure you write them down, because a goal not written is just a wish. It's a whim. It's just a fleeting thought. It's not going to get stuck into your subconscious mind unless you write it down and start reading it every day. All right, so this is part of knowing where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, how are you going to get there? You won't, right? You're drifting without a destination. I'll ask many people, so what are your goals? I don't know. What do you want to accomplish? I don't know. It's just, they're just confused. They literally have no understanding about where they're headed, what they need to be thinking about, what they need to be accomplishing. And so this is something that's like critical, right? Really, really important that you think about and give a lot of thought to where you're going, what you want to accomplish, and how to make that happen. Okay, moving on to the next one here. Okay, this is an interesting study on results. And this is a Dominican University goal-setting study. Actually did happen. There's some confusion about whether these studies actually took place. This one actually happened. People that have written goals achieve significantly more than those who never write them down. That goes back to, it's just a whim. It's not embedded in your subconscious mind unless you write it down. In fact, there's been quotes about a Yale University study or a Harvard University study that said that people who wrote down their goals were 5% of the population. And that 5% accomplished more than the 95%. I could never find any documentation on a Harvard or a Yale study with those particular percentages, but I did find this Dominican University study, and they accomplished significantly more. And the defined term of significant is like they accomplished twice as much or 3 times as much as people who did not write down their goals. And I don't doubt that there's probably an inordinate equation of people that were very specific about their goals and pursuing them. Maybe some people did accomplish more than 95% of the rest of the people. I'm sure that happened. So keys to success, this has been my key, I think, one of my keys in terms of goal setting. And this is one of the nuances that people don't really understand. You've got kind of 2 parts to your mind. You've got this conscious mind that is what you're using right now while you're listening to this presentation. But you also have your subconscious mind that is recording everything. It records everything you've ever smelled, anything you've ever heard, all the words that have run through your ears, all the things your eyes have seen, the thoughts that have gone through your head, the smells in your nose, the taste in your mouth. All of these senses are gathering information all the time. Anything you've read is stored in this subconscious mind. And so this is a really amazing supercomputer, basically. It's like the cloud. It's like the biggest cloud in the universe, right? It can store and store and store. Now, you may not consciously or actively remember everything that has ever been stored. That's not all present all the time in your conscious mind, but it is stored in your subconscious, memory banks, if you will. And what you got to do is you've got to put good things in there all the time. This is why it's so critical that you do this, because when you've got this most powerful computer in the world, which is your subconscious mind, if the database that you feed it, that you load it with, the data you load it with is junk, then junk's going to come out of that database, right? So this is why we got to focus on putting good things in our brain, looking at good things with our eyes, hearing good things with our ears, right? Tasting good things with our mouths, smelling good things with our noses. All these things we want to make sure we focus on the good, and it's never more important than what you're looking at, listening to, and reading. Okay, those conversations even with other people. And I've said this many times, and I'm going to repeat it today as well. There's a lot of junk out there. There's a lot of horrible garbage out there online, on the internet, in print, video, those things. And you have got to, it's literally a battle. It's like the world's awash in a bunch of garbage out there, and people are posting a bunch of garbage. And what you don't need to listen to is a bunch of profanity. What you don't need to, view is a bunch of pornography. And what you don't have to engage in is a bunch of needless conversation, And so this is why you want to focus on good things. You want to read good books. You want to watch uplifting, positive, promoting videos that promote positive, faith-building things in your life. And a lot of people sometimes are hesitant, or they're concerned when talking about faith and virtue and morality and the good things of life. I'm not ashamed of it, guys. It is a fact of the universe. You want to put garbage in, you're going to get garbage out. You put virtuous, positive, praiseworthy things in your brain, then you're going to get positive, productive, praiseworthy things out of your brain. And you're going to get phenomenal ideas, phenomenal insights that will guide you in your life to help you become the kind of person that you want to become. That's full of gratitude, that's gracious, that is principled, that is refined, that's not coarse and rough and mean with other people, but is gentle and kind, who can help other people along the path. That's the kind of person who's going to become happy in their life. And so I hope that's who you want to become. And if you're going to become that, you got to focus on the good. The biggest problem we have in this world today is there's too much information. If you read, 10 hours a day, it would take you about 400 lifetimes to read everything in the Library of Congress. So obviously, you don't have enough time to, read all the junk, engage in all the garbage, dive down deep, dark rabbit holes that are just filth and garbage that you don't want to be part of. What you got to do is you got to fight every day to put good things in your brain, to focus on the good things, to research the authors before you read a book to see if you even agree with their principles. There's no sense in even reading their material if you don't agree with their principles. So those are the things you got to do. And I'm just going to implore you to read the Bible, read scriptures every day, because those things are the lessons of the universe. They're lessons of humanity, of all recorded history. And what you want to do is you want to learn the lessons of life, and you want to put them and apply them in your life. So make sure you do that. So there's this unknown path that everybody's going to embark on. When you set a goal and you dream big and you don't limit your goals, you just say, this is what I want. This is what Paul J. Meyer did for me when I was 14. Think of anything you want to have, anything you want to be, anything you want to do, any place you want to visit, any experiences you want to go through, and write them down. Don't say, well, I don't have money to go to that place, or I don't have time to get that education. I don't have money to get it. I don't know the right people to help me accomplish this. Don't be focused on the things you don't know. All that matters is that you set that massive big goal and you keep refining those goals every year, and you say, this is what I'm going to accomplish in my life. It doesn't matter that you don't know how you're going to get there. Nobody knows exactly how they're going to accomplish a goal. The key is to set the goal. Just write it down. And as you write it down and you read it every day, that subconscious mind will start to take all of those data points that you've forgotten, that you're not even thinking about in your conscious mind. It'll take all those data points, and the day will come, it will start connecting those dots in the subconscious mind, and that will bring that memory into your conscious mind, and the path will be made known to you. It'll be shown to you the path you need to take. There is never a straight line from point A to point B, from where you're at today to that big, hairy, audacious goal that you've set that you want to accomplish in your life. That pathway is going to be full of right turns and left turns, detours, construction zones, right? It's going to be full of ups and downs and overs and unders. Sometimes you're going to have to just blast straight through obstacles to move forward on your path to get to the goal that you have set, okay? But the path will be made known, and it's exercising that faith. And we all exercise faith in anything that we're trying to accomplish that is out in the future that we're not there yet. We're believing that we're going to get there, and that's what you got to do. You have to learn how to just simply believe. Just say to yourself, I can do it, okay? Say to yourself, I got this. I can make it happen. That's where faith starts, is just a kernel of belief, just a small desire that you want to go and do that, and you believe you can go put one foot in front of the other. And if that belief is only big enough to take you today, take you through today, to pick up the phone and make that phone call, to talk to that person you haven't talked to yet, all of those little things, those little steps add up. And many of you have heard the description that what you do when you are stepping into the darkness is you take that step. You don't know for sure if there's even a floor for your foot to land on. That as you start to strike your heel, the pathway illuminates. You take the next step, and as that foot moves forward, the pathway illuminates. You take the next step, the pathway illuminates. You start to see the path ahead, and you learn to walk by faith. And that faith is what will propel you forward to help you achieve significant goals in your life. So try it, put it to the experiment, and you will see what I'm talking about. Okay? All right. So here's what you're going to do. You're suggesting to your subconscious mind the reality, the ultimate reality that will be the culmination of your goal. And that's what you do every day is you read your goals. You know, you put them on your phone, guys. They're right there, right? You write them down, you take a picture, you make it your screensaver on your phone because there's nothing you'll look at more every day than this. It's been said you do it about every 25 seconds on average. Every day people seem to pick up their phone. They've got that habit and trying to see what is there, some notification. It's more a habit of being distracted. So what I want you to do is be distracted and see your goals every time that screensaver comes up to remind you to stay focused. So see those goals. But that's not enough just to see them on your phone. I want you in the morning when you're doing your journaling or you're pondering, you're writing down things for the day in your 90-day journal. I want you to consciously go back and read your goals for the month, for the week, for the day, for the year. And I want you to read them, and you got to write those goals as if they have happened. You know, it's now December of 2019. I'm a team elite in Nu Skin Enterprises. I've accomplished that by taking consistent daily action towards my goal of being a team elite by this day and this time. And so when you write them down and you read them as if they've happened, you're suggesting to your subconscious mind that ultimate reality that is the accomplishment of that goal. Try it. It's very powerful. I started doing this when I was 14. As I mentioned, I listened to that audio tape from Paul J. Myers, and then I did it. I took a 3x5 card out of my mother's recipe box down in our kitchen, and I wrote on that card my two main goals as a 14-year-old teenager whose big goal in his life was to play major college football. And the problem was I was 6 feet 1 inch tall and I weighed 120 pounds. I was really tall and really skinny, and I was going to get killed unless I put on some weight. And so I put two goals. I drew a line down the middle of that 3x5 card, long-wise, and on the top of one column I put body weight, and on the top of the other column I put bench press, which was a measure of how much weight I could bench press. That was a measure of my upper body strength. I went to a youth recreational facility in my neighborhood where they bring in youth to keep them off the street and teach them boxing or weightlifting or basketball, and I chose weightlifting. I ran into some people there that said, son, you're going to get killed if you try to play football as skinny as you are. You got to start working out. You got to lift weights every day. You got to eat everything in sight, eat everything your parents will give you, and then some. You got to start drinking protein drinks. You go down to this health food store and you get this protein powder. You blend it up in your blender with raw eggs and you drink it every day. And that's what you do. And this is what I did. And I took it very seriously. And I read that goal every day because I took that 3x5 card and I stuck it on the dresser in my bedroom where my clothes were stored. And I read that goal every single day when I got out of bed. And I read that goal every day when I went to bed at night. I saw it first thing in the morning, last thing at night. That was my dominating thought in my brain, and so I did it. And I started crossing out those goals, and I wrote the next 10 pounds. And I wrote 130 pounds, 140, 150, 160, 170, 180, 190, 200, 210, 220 on body weight. And on bench press, I kept striking them out, and I kept writing new numbers all the way up into the 400s. And that's what I ultimately was able to eventually bench press as I got much bigger and much stronger over the next 3.5 years. So from 14 up through 17, 17 and a half, when I was a senior in high school, I actually did put on 100 pounds of body from 120 to 220 pounds. I got recruited. I was able to achieve my goal of playing major Division I college football. I played with the likes of Jim McMahon and Mark Wilson and a lot of these famous quarterbacks that played in the NFL, a lot of other guys that played in the NFL. I never went to the NFL, probably because I didn't write that down as my goal. I moved on to other goals that were more important to me, but I did achieve my goal of gaining weight, playing major college football, and getting strong enough to do that. And people don't believe that, but there's a picture of me. Yes, that's me, at about 230 pounds. and that's not a girlfriend. I couldn't get one at the time. That's my sister, and you can see that I was sporting about a 21-inch neck at that point in time, and I weighed a lot. People think I don't know how to tie a tie, but I do. That is because my neck was so big that the tie wasn't long enough to create a tie that would touch my belt buckle. So I look a little out of sorts there. That's my mother and my sister and me. And you can see I had a lot of muscle at the time when I was doing that. Here's me and a couple of friends. And they called me No Neck Nate because I just didn't seem to have much of a neck. Went straight from my ears to my traps to my shoulders and so forth. And so, anyway, a lot of fun. So I learned a lot from that experience. And this quote from Leonardo da Vinci really is apropos at this point, I think, in our discussion about goals. Obstacles cannot crush me. Every obstacle yields to stern resolve. Are you committed? Do you have stern resolve? He who is fixed to a star does not change his mind. Are you fixed to that goal? It's like your star. It's like the place you're going to go that no one thinks you can go. You're going to accomplish these amazing things. Yeah, for all ages of time, successful people that we even know their names today, like Leonardo da Vinci, are people that are extraordinary, did unbelievable things in their lives. And it's because they set goals. They fixed themselves to the star that they wouldn't compromise on. Michelangelo, another world famous figure from ages past that is so unique and so powerful that we know who he is today, right? Quote, the great danger for most of us is not that our aim is too high and we miss it, but that it is too low and we reach it. Wow, that is potent, right? So don't aim low, guys. Aim high. Make big time crazy goals. This is something that actually, I wanted to achieve. I actually wrote it down as one of those many things when I was 14 years old when I listened to that audio tape and Paul J. Myers said, "Don't think you don't have the money. Don't think, well, I can't do that." From the time I was a little kid, I wanted to be a pilot. And it took me a long time. I didn't start doing flying lessons till I was 45 years of age. But I finally decided to bite the bullet, bought an airplane, hired an instructor, and just started going for it. And ultimately, I ended up having this airplane, which was the first jet that I owned. And now I ended up having this one that I love to fly, love to be a pilot. It's challenging. I love doing it. And these are some of the people in my life. One of the guys who really helped me with my Nu Skin business, Scott Malone. I'll be forever grateful for him and his involvement in the downline and what he did. And we went for a little ride the other day as well. All right, so in wrapping up here, these are some of the summaries, I guess, that are the greatest things that I've learned in my 30-year career of Nu Skin about goal setting. And this was one that I came across, not sure exactly where I got this one, to be honest with you, who the author is, but this is totally true. This is the process of change. This is the process. If you'll do these things through your life, you'll be amazed what happens. Watch your thoughts because they will become your words. Everything starts with your thoughts, right? James Allen says that your mind is like a garden, and you got to be careful what you plant in the garden because that's what you'll harvest. You don't want to plant a bunch of weeds and noxious plants and dangerous things. You want to plant positive, powerful things in the garden of your mind. The greatest news for human beings is that we can change our future by changing our thoughts. That's true. That's it. It's about thinking differently. It's about reading great books. It's about being inspired by other people, watching broadcasts like this. So change the way you think. Erase negativity from your life. Think positive things. Believe that anything is possible for you. And if you have the right kind of thoughts and you're thinking those thoughts every morning as you're pondering and journaling and writing down, what you're going to accomplish in your life, then you'll start to verbalize those things. You'll say them out loud as you read those goals, right? And as you verbalize those words, then they will become your actions. So watch your thoughts, they become your words. Watch your words, they will become your actions. If you say things enough times, then you will act on them. You'll take the actions necessary to accomplish those words. Watch your actions they become your habits. If an action's repeated over and over again, enough times it'll become a habit. And habits are powerful. Watch your habits because they become your character, right? Let's talk about that for a second. There's really two kinds of habits. There's bad habits and there's good habits, right? Bad habits will make you a slave. The good habits will become your servants. Okay, bad habits would be smoking, drugs, alcohol, all these things, verbally abusing people, physically, unfortunately, abusing people, negative thinking. If that is your habit, then that's going to become your character. That's who you are. And it's not going to be a pretty ending, right? If you have great habits, like you get up at 5 a.m. and you spend an hour reading great things and filling your mind with positive stuff and journaling and pondering. You spend the next hour exercising and getting ready for your day. And then you prepare and go out and attack it and you're in a peak state, right? If those become your habits, then you're going to become a totally different person in this life. And watch your character because that becomes your destiny. That's what people think of you. That's how they remember you. And so you want to leave great thoughts. You want to inspire people. You want to inspire your family, your children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, people around you, kids in your life, right? People you're associating with, those 5 closest friends. You want to be lifting them all the time. Here's one of my favorite poems. Not sure exactly who the author of this one is either. I think I used to know, but probably it's stuck back there in my subconscious mind someplace, and I'm not getting it right in front of me right now. But this is a great poem. This is paraphrased, not the whole poem, but these are the points that I think are really critical. Concerning concerning all acts of initiative and creation, there is but one elementary truth. So, certainly building a global distribution system through this amazing Nu Skin company that I've been part of for 30 years is definitely an act of initiative and creation. If there is one, that is one of them right there. And everybody has an act of initiative and creation in your own life. If you're going to try to accomplish anything big time, powerful, meaningful, big, hairy, audacious goals, right? That is definitely an act of initiative and creation. So you want to understand that that's the act. And there's one elementary truth when this happens, that the very moment one definitely commits oneself, then providence moves too. So the moment you definitely commit, like this is where you burn the bridges. There is no retreat. There's only go forward in your life. The moment you definitely commit that you're going to do it and you put yourself in a place where you have to do it, right? Then and only then providence moves too. So providence to me is my God in heaven, okay? That's my Heavenly Father. Maybe for you it's the Great Spirit. Maybe for you it's the universe, it's the power of the universe or whatever, okay? Then providence moves too. It's like all these unseen powers come to aid you in achieving your goal, right? So all sorts of events begin to occur which otherwise would never have occurred and which no man could dream would come his way. And this has been my experience with multiple different goals that I've written down in my life, made a full commitment to those things, then providence moved to, and all sorts of events begin to occur. People get placed in your path. You meet people that you can't even imagine that they've joined your team, and it gets better and better and better. All sorts of events begin to occur which otherwise would never have occurred and which no man could dream would come his way. So I hope this has been helpful to you. Good luck on your journey, not just in Nu Skin, but in life. The last year here, I've tried to record most of the critical key components of this business of network marketing. You can find them on my YouTube channel from here going forward, and have thoroughly enjoyed doing these broadcasts. I cannot say that I've enjoyed every day of trying to accomplish my goals in the Nu Skin opportunity. There's been some really hard, difficult times, but if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, then you can accomplish those goals in this business and in your life. And I wish everybody the very best. So signing off, everybody. It's been great. Thank you so much, and have a great day. Have a great end of year, a great goal setting function, okay? And and we'll talk to you someplace, somewhere in the future. Bye bye.